Hey guys, and welcome to another great movie review. Today we are going to be discussing The Flash Season 1. As you can tell from my last video, I love DC. I do love Marvel as well, but I love DC's TV universe. I love Flash, I love Arrow. I was super excited whenever when they announced Legends of Tomorrow. I loved that show as well, and now they bring Supergirl into the whole mix, and I think it's just going to be great. That being said, it has been said that later on this year, I believe around Christmas time, they're going to be doing a 4-way crossover between all the shows. So I am really excited about that. It's going to just be one huge crossover, and I can't wait to see what they have in store for that special occasion. Anyway, moving on. Again, as I told you guys before, I want to do videos on the different seasons of Flash and Arrow for now. I'm also going to go ahead and do Legends of Tomorrow. I haven't watched Supergirl yet, so I can't give my opinion on it. But as soon as I do that, you can be sure as hell that I will do a video about Supergirl. Anyway, moving on. So, after Arrow was released, Barry Allen was introduced in Arrow Season 1, and basically that was our little hint that, hey, they're gonna have a spin-off, The Flash. And sure enough, they did. Sure enough, we got The Flash, and The Flash Season 1, in my opinion, worked out really, really well. Straight from the first episode to the last episode of Season 1, all of it was really well written, planned out. The acting was phenomenal. The characters are just great. The effects are amazing. I love the effects. For those of you who do not know, The Flash Season 1's main antagonist is Reverse Flash, aka Eobard Thawne. He's one of Flash's main enemies due to the fact that he has the Speed Force, but he has the negative Speed Force. He created the same type of conditions that the Flash was going through to get his powers, and he got powers. Well, he goes and travels through time to find out. He travels back in time to meet his hero, but he doesn't travel back far enough. But there is a thing called the Flash Museum, which he visits, and he finds out that him and the Flash are supposed to be enemies. And for some reason, instead of trying to change it, he goes back. He kind of loses his mind and goes back further in time, and ever since then, him and the Flash have just been clashing heads. So, again, Reverse Flash is a really good villain for the Flash. Anyway, that being said, I think it was a good idea to pull him as the Season 1 villain from, Season 1 villain. Pull him out right from the start. It really does make sense. And the way they do it in the TV show, it makes even more sense. And it really works out. It really does. And throughout Season 1, you have the Flash who gets his powers, and he's dealing with all these with all these other metahumans, but at the same time, in the background, you see that Eobard Thawne has his own plan, and you see that he's working towards it. And you also see that over time, Barry and the team are getting more information about him, per se, and they are basically catching up to him, and eventually they do. Now, we don't see Reverse Flash. We only see Reverse Flash in Season 2, once. It's cool, it's a nice little, cameo kind of deal. But I'm gonna be really excited to see Reverse Flash in season 2 of Legends of Tomorrow. Um, According to sources everywhere, Legends of Tomorrow will be the main antagonists will be the Legion of Doom, which will consist of Damien Dark, Malcolm Merlin, and Reverse Flash, and maybe Vandal Savage. I honestly do not know. More than likely not Vandal Savage. Anyway, back to the main point. Season 1 of The Flash, to me, was really, really, really good. And it was a really good lead up, and it had great cliffhangers. I hate cliffhangers, but they were really good cliffhangers. They really were. In my opinion, The Flash, it kept you on the edge of your seat. You always were wondering, what happens next? What happens next? And I remember watching The Flash, and whenever this show would end on a cliffhanger, I'd be like, why? Why a cliffhanger? Why? Give me more info now. And it's funny because my girlfriend was basically the same way whenever I got her into watching The Flash, and Arrow as well. Both of the shows have great cliffhangers, and we would watch the show. We'd be watching the show, and then we'd turn it off for the night, turn the TV off for the night, to go to bed, and then she'd be like, "No, one more episode." And so, again, Flash Season 1 has great cliffhangers, and it makes you want to see more. Not only that, I do love the crossover episodes that Flash and Arrow usually do. I love them, and everybody else loves them. But now that you have Legends of Tomorrow, and now that you have Supergirl, of course, everybody's going to be wanting to see even bigger crossovers, hence the 4-way crossover this coming Christmas, I'll say. Again, I don't know exactly when it is, but it'll be around Christmas time. Again, in my opinion, Flash Season 1 was amazing. I loved it, and I loved Season 2. You'll get a video on that one soon. I will say that Season 1 did have, was a little slow starting. I will say that. In my opinion, it was a little slow starting. But it all worked out in the end. Again, it all worked out in the end. And I love how they take time giving Barry powers. Such as in Season 1, he's fast. When he starts off, he's fast. But he's not fast enough to travel through time on his own just yet. And he builds up that speed, and first he's able to travel super fast. Then he's able to break the sound barrier, and then he's able to break the time barrier and time travel, later on in the season. And again, I just love that. I love that they build up his speed, and I love that they take their time with him. Because, and the reason I say this is because I've seen this, on Facebook, and I've seen this on Facebook, and I've commented my opinions on it. But there are people out there who say, "Oh, Barry needs to stop saying he's the fastest man alive, and they need to stop writing, these guys that are way faster than him, and he keeps saying he's the fastest man alive, and he needs to stop being a crybaby." And it irks me. It really does. And I'll tell you why. Because in my opinion, when someone becomes a superhero per se, they're not, in my opinion, they shouldn't just have they shouldn't already be at their full potential. They shouldn't, if if your ability is to fly, you shouldn't be able to, whenever you gain the ability to fly, you should know, you shouldn't be like, yeah, and then just like leap up and take off and, fly, right next to a plane. No. In my opinion, if you gain the ability to fly, you need to start off by jumping, jumping really high. You're going to start off by running and jumping, gaining more and more altitude, gaining more distance, until finally you launch yourself up and you can fly, or simple thing like level, just, alright, let's try levitating a little bit. Alright, let's move a little bit, something like that. That makes more sense to someone getting powers than already having full potential. A better example would be, say, Oliver Queen or Batman. Oliver Queen, a great archer. Batman, world's greatest detective. Both had to reach that level by training and studying. And obviously it makes sense because those guys are human, going up against metahumans, and aliens and such. And but even if you're an alien with superpowers or a metahuman, it still makes sense that you need to gain full control of your powers. It still makes sense that if it makes sense. Y'all get what I'm trying to say. It makes sense that someone who just gets powers would need to train to get full potential, to get to their full potential, and not just already be at their full potential. Because if they were already at their full potential, there would be no point. That's just my opinion on that part of the subject. The second part of the second part is, I think it's stupid that they call that any, and I will say this. For those of you who do not agree with me, it's fine you don't agree with me. Cool. I think it is stupid for anybody out there to call Barry a crybaby when he is still human. Yeah, he has superpowers. Doesn't mean he doesn't have emotions. Doesn't mean he doesn't have feelings. Doesn't mean that he doesn't have thoughts and opinions. It makes sense for him to feel some type of way about certain situations, instead of just being like, I mean, seriously, for those of you who are on the other side of this, conversation, I ask you, what do you want to see in Barry? What do you mean specifically by don't be such a crybaby? Do you mean to say, get over your mom's death? Which, if so, kind of put yourself in his shoes, man. If your mom died, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want somebody to tell you, say, oh, just get over it. Or do you mean stop being such a crybaby, as in just do something about the situation already? And because if that's the case, as I've said before, he's gonna feel some type of way about certain situations. So if he's having a difficult time coming up with a way to defeat a certain metahuman, then yeah, he's going to be kind of frustrated. Think of it like trying to, being stuck on a problem you've been trying to solve for the past 2 hours, but you just can't. Frustrated, ain't it? My point is, with all that, I do not think that Barry, I do believe that Barry has more potential. I do believe that Barry is gaining more to that potential. I do believe that he's getting more and more to the point, of being able to fully understand the Speed Force. Slowly but surely. And I do believe that Barry has the right to express himself as he feels because he is his own person. Those are just my opinions to all those people out there. I will say that the writers of CW, while sometimes I don't agree with, for the most part, hey, great writing. They write the characters well, they write the scenes well, they write the situations well, the villains well, everything. I will say, if you guys do not like it, become a writer and apply for the CW. That's all I have to say about that. And that's always been one of my philosophies, is if you don't like a certain situation, do something about it to change it. Now, you don't necessarily have to become a writer of the CW, but I mean, you could write a letter to the CW, and that's that. But the reason I say to become a writer and apply to CW to write for either Flash or Arrow, if you don't like the way they write, is because I want people to see that writing, or just creating something in general, isn't as easy as it seems. Like, I'm a horrible painter. I tried painting, I suck at it. I am a horrible singer. I can't sing to save my life. Never tried my acting chops out, so I don't know. Writing, decent. I'm a decent writer. Know your own limits. Know your own limits. Know yourself. And when you know yourself and you feel confident in saying, oh, I think I could do a better job at writing for Flash or Arrow than these guys, hey, put your money where your mouth is, go do it. That's just my opinion, guys. That being said, my whole opinion is that The Flash Season 1 was a great start to the show. I feel like it introduced the characters really well. I also feel like it introduced some of the villains really well. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing some of the villains reoccur in Season 2. Season 3, since Season 2 already came and went. All the villains that they bring on the show, just phenomenal. But I do love seeing villains reoccur, obviously, because obviously you're not going to be able to hold villains forever. Real quick, I'll jump ahead 2 seasons and say that the villain that I'm really looking forward to seeing in Season 3 is Mirror Master. To be honest, I thought that they would put Mirror Master in Season 2 at least. But hey, it is what it is, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him in Season 3. I really am. I haven't heard on who's going to play him, if they do. But another character I'll kind of want to see back on The Flash is Captain Cold. Spoiler alert for those of you who don't know. Captain Cold, obviously Flash villain, but he was on Legends of Tomorrow. Something happened. I'm not going to spoil that for you, but he was on Legends of Tomorrow. But according to them, he will be back for Season 2. Which is cool, but I really do want to see him come back to the Flash. I want to see him kind of, not really battle the Flash, but I want to see him confront Barry and about being a hero type of deal. But other than that, again, Season 1, again, to me was a great start to to this series. I really, 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 really hope that this series goes on for a while. I don't know how long Grant Gustin's contract is. I believe Stephen Amell's is till 2019, so like 3 more years. Hey, 3 more years Arrow, 3 more, cool. That's fine by me. But again, I really do like these shows, and I will say that I love how they are bringing them to life. Now, obviously, these actors aren't always going to be. Obviously, these actors aren't always going to be able to do these shows, and I'm not saying that these actors are getting tired of it. If they are, hey, whatever. If they're not, cool. Cool beans. But being actors, certain things come up for them. Other roles come up, like Stephen Amell was in the second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. That's Casey Jones. So, again, other things come up. But I will say that I really hope that these shows go on as long as they can. And I encourage all of you guys to check out these shows and to watch these shows. Netflix, CW app for a smartphone. If you have any type of smartphone, download the CW app. They don't have previous seasons on there, but the season they have now is on there. So if you guys are caught up with Flash season 1, but you haven't seen season 2 yet, CW app. Same thing with Arrow. If you're caught up season 3 but you haven't seen season 4 yet and you're trying to hurry and catch up before season 5, CW app. Other than that, Showbox. By the way, I will say right now, this is in no way, shape, or form an endorsement by me saying that. I'm just saying what I usually use to watch the shows. Netflix, CW app, Showbox. My girlfriend uses Showbox, but hey, that's her. Again, no way endorsement, just putting it out there. But the Help Team time. Flash Season 1 was a great way to start off the series. And I cannot wait to see where it goes next. So far, it's been a wild ride, and I'm really looking forward to the next adventure with Barry and the gang. Alrighty, so that's all for my Flash Season 1 review. Quick note though, I will say I'm making an announcement right now that I found out Stephen Amell from Arrow, is going to be participating in American Ninja Warrior next year. And I have decided that since he's going to do it, I'm going to do it. And I have plenty of support. Basically, my training starts this week, so it's going to be a little bit hectic. I'll still be doing videos 1 or twice a week. No need to worry about that. But it's just going to be really, really hectic getting back to my workout routine. It's going to be really challenging. For those of you who don't know what American Ninja Warrior is, it's basically a TV show. It's a giant obstacle course that people run. American Ninja Warrior is a spin-off, I want to say, of the original Ninja Warrior that was on G4. It was a channel. G4 is no longer on TV, but it was obviously. And they had they had a show called Ninja Warrior, and it was actually in Japan. You had these people running the obstacle course, Mount Midoriyama. But again, American Ninja Warrior is a spin-off. It's here, obviously. But it happens every year. People try out, people go. People run the obstacle course. Many people fail. And I think it's going to be great to try. It's something that I wanted to try before, but now that Stephen Amell's doing it, I really have to do it now. And I'm sure I'm not the only one out there who's saying this. As far as I know, for all we know, there could be somebody out there saying the same thing. Oh, hey, Stephen Amell's trying it. You know what? I'm gonna do it. But again, I just wanted to make that announcement that I will be trying out for American Ninja Warrior next year. So, wish me luck, guys. I'll really appreciate it. Again, I'll be doing my normal videos, but just letting you know it's going to be really hectic. Alright, guys, well, that's all the time I have for today. I'll see you next time on another great movie review. Don't forget to like and subscribe.